Hi everyone, Paul here again. Today we're going to look at the website achievethecore.org. This website was created by some of the lead writers of the Common Core standards. And they have great resources for classroom instruction, planning for that instruction, and professional learning. But we're just going to look at two of the resources today. And I want to emphasize that these resources are time savers when you're thinking about doing two things. One, what standards or area of mathematics should I be focusing on so that my students are going to be successful next year? And the second is, if they're not ready for the content or standard I'm teaching, how do I know what standard I could teach that would support the student for this standard they're not understanding at the present moment? So let's go ahead and dive right in. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top here to Planning for Instruction. I'm going to click there. I'm going to see Content. I'm going to scroll down to Mathematics, Focus by Grade Level. I'm going to pick the grade level that I'm at. I'll pick grade 4. I'll click Download. Now this document is going to tell me where to focus for 4th grade. You can see here it's showing me my major, supporting, and additional clusters for grade 4. I'm going to be looking at my major clusters because those, as you can see here, those are the clusters that are the student should spend the large majority of their time on the major work of that grade. So as I scroll down, I can read them and identify them. Here I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and that's their overview. I could also see in the bottom right hand corner here, their required fluencies for grade 4. Each grade level has their required fluency, so if you need to go in the grade levels before the one they're in, that's there for them as well. If I scroll down further, I can see a continuum of the important major work needed from K through 8. And in short, they're just giving you the major clusters for each grade level. But it's nice to see what is expected of them in the grade that they're going into. So now that I know the major clusters and understand what foundation they need in order to be successful, I want to see more specifically in those clusters. So what I'm going to do is scroll up. I'm going to click the back button on my browser. And then up at the top, you see the 3 areas again. I'm going to go to Classroom Resources, and here's the second resource. I scroll down to the Coherence Map. And then on Coherence Map here, I get started. And I'm going to get started again. I click here. It gives me a synopsis at the bottom. I was in grade 4. And now it's going to open up here, and I know that number and operation fractions, I'm going to pick this one as a major cluster, so I go ahead and click that. Now, it opens up the 2 major clusters. So you have 4 in FA1 and A2. If I'm teaching in this area here and explaining why a fraction AB is equivalent to a fraction, etc., and all I have to do is click Map Standard. Once I click Map Standard, it's going to give me a brief tutorial about how to explore the map, what the arrows mean, how they're related, and what the dashed lines mean and how those relate. So once you read that tutorial, it's very intuitive. Just go ahead and click Finish. And what it's going to show you is you have your standard that you're working on, your major cluster, and you have a task that you can give the students. It comes with a solution. If you scroll down further and click Tasks, it's going to give you a couple more tasks. And you could try those with the students and see if they are able to understand the content. You can also go to Pearson and locate for an FA1 and work with students from Pearson. Now, if they don't understand it or they're having trouble and you notice that there's gaps, instead of continuing in this area and trying to figure out how to support them, you can simply look backwards and you can see these over here, 3NF, 40A, and 4MD, these are all precursors. So I'm going to go to the one with the direct arrows because that means that they should have mastered this in order to understand 4NF. So they should have mastered 3NF, 40A. So I click on there and I could see if they had mastered this. Can they explain equivalence of fractions? And again, you can map this standard as well. You can also go back and if they did understand that, see if they understood 40A. And that would be another precursor to the standard. And this can go, you can keep mapping backwards until you identify where that gap was. So again, each one comes with a task. You also then can refer to your curriculum for additional work to continue supporting that student in order to fill that gap. This is a valuable tool to use and all the work's done for us. It's just a matter of basically going backwards and finding the gap that the student has. And in the same concept, you can also go forward. If your student is being successful within this major cluster, you can jump forward and start preparing them for what's coming next. So that is it. Those are the two resources. I hope that you found this valuable, and it's a great tool, especially the crisis we're in. We have an opportunity to look at the major clusters and the foundational mathematics that are going to be so important for them to be successful for next year. So take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.